Okay, today we're getting ready for the test, and the test is on lines. This makes a line when you graph it, but to be able to graph it, you need a slope and you need a point. And the point on this one is you're going to reverse the x and the y, so the point is not -2 comma 5. That's the most common mistake. And I get why people say that, because this is a -2 and this is a 5, but they've got to be backwards and opposite of that. How many of you had -5 comma +2? Raise your hand if you had that right. Okay. I think a few more people actually did than are saying. All right, this m is the slope, and the slope is the rise over the run. It is simply that. That's the slope right there, 1/3. Now, if you were going to graph it, you would start at -5. You don't have to do this right now, but you remember how you'd start down here at the y-intercept, and then you'd have a rise 1 and run 3, and your next dot would be there, up and over, next dot would be there. It'd be really a fairly flat one. All right. Now, flip your paper over on the other side. I made a couple examples of things. These are just example problems of stuff that you'd have to know for tomorrow. So that first one, y minus 2 equals 4 and then x plus 1. That's got a point and a slope in it. If you can find the point and the slope, graph it. I will come around and check it for you. If you've got it, just raise your hand and I'll check you. All right, I was able to check most of you. And pretty much everybody had -1 comma 2, which is awesome. Scariest thing for me was how many people had let their brain go to sleep over the long weekend and forgot you go left 1 and up 2, and that's where you start. And then rise 4 and over 1 is like that. Should look approximately like that. Okay. All right, now everybody look at B. Everybody look at B on your sheet there. Everybody get to B. Everybody. Okay, on B, the first thing is you cannot graph B the way it is. What do you have to do first? Solve it for what? Solve for Y. Everybody solve that thing for Y, and you're doing it right. Would you tell them what you're doing? You minus 2x, that is correct. Because the original problem says 2x plus y equals 5. You minus 2x from both sides, and then you have y equals -2x plus 5. I put the -2x first, because then I know where the slope's supposed to be. All right, now see if you can graph that one. It doesn't have a point. It has the y-intercept. Start at the y-intercept, and then the slope's right here. I'll pause for a second while you try that one. This one, you should have started at y equals 5. Can you have a seat, please? Gentlemen in the back. Stop talking, please. All right, so we're going to go up 5. And that's where you start, because that's the y-intercept. And the slope is down 2 and over 1. This one should have looked roughly like that. That's B. Okay, so now what I have for you today is a practice quiz that's like the test. I'm going to have you take it in class today, and we're going to try to give you lots of individual feedback. And if you're understanding everything on there, then that's a really good sign for tomorrow. Your homework for tonight, when we're done with the practice quiz, is that same sheet from before. If you've lost yours, I have more. But basically, we're going to do the odds all the way to the end of the worksheet. So we already did like 2 different days on this. So this is the last day where we take the whole rest of the worksheet and do odds. Kind of an odd day. All right, so anyway, that's the plan for today. I'm going to tell you one last thing on the recording here just to show you how to handle it when there's fractions and you don't want there to be a fraction. Do you remember what part of this makes it into a fraction? Therefore, if I could get rid of it, it wouldn't be a fraction anymore. Multiply by what? The 3. Because that thing right there, that's what makes it a fraction. If it didn't have that, it wouldn't be a fraction, right? So I times everything by 3. All right. Now, that would clear my fraction. But what's smarter? Because this one's almost done. I just have to do one step to it, and it'll be y equals, which is a form you know, and you'll be able to graph.
What? Wait, what?
You're trying to get the y alone. Subtract something. What do you subtract?
2x.
Not 2x, you're warm. 2/3 x. Because, why is that smart? Because don't you recognize this now? That's the mope, and that's the y-intercept. So you'd start at 7, and the slope would be fall 2 and run 3. Down a couple, over a couple, down 2, over 3. There we go. All right, so that's one last example. All right, I'm going to get that quiz for you now. I'm going to pause for a second while I do. Okay, just a reminder on graphing. This is the over, this is the up. Now, you know what negative up means, right? Down. What does negative over mean? Left. Okay, I'm going to pause while you show me where that point is. Okay, now we got that down. One last one. Final test on where points are. Graph this point. Would you please put that in the right spot? Teachers, please check and see if they have their pen at -3, 1. Okay, and that one was at -3, +1. You should have been right there. Nice job, pretty much everybody. Okay, good. Because if you don't have the point right, then there's no chance for you to graph it right. Because if you start in the wrong spot, it's done. All right, so here comes that little practice quiz. I'm going to pause while I hand it out. Okay, so here we go. This is our start on number 1. Why did we do this? Because we want to get the y alone. And right now, there's all this stuff next to the y. So the first thing we're doing is getting rid of the 3x. Who knows the next step to getting y alone? Yes. Divide -6 is correct, sir. All right, I'm going to pause for a second. We try. Okay. So those cancel. Y is alone. And who can reduce 3/6 to something simpler? Nope. You have it upside down. Not 2/2. It's a fraction, though. Closer. 1/2. You had it right there. 1/2. 1/2. 3/6 is 1/2. And what is that? Negative makes it positive, and 2/6 makes 1/3. Now that was a nasty one. I didn't mean for it to come out with a weird decimal at the end. So I didn't mean for it to be that hard. But that is a kind of question you have to be able to do on the test. Solving for y. And normally, like, this wouldn't have come out to 1/3. Normally at the end it might have been like 12 divided by 6. I should have made this a 12 here. And then 12 divided by 6 would have been a 2, and that would have been a lot easier. Okay. I wanted to help you with that one because I knew it was really hard. But number 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all things you can do. All right, so this is the next several minutes is you trying to answer problems 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll check you. All right, and that's all I have for the video for today.